Kanpai.
Welcome, weebs, to this week's episode of Kanpai Cast, episode 190. And this week, Nasuth has lovingly titled this episode the second season Smash or Pass. So we're going to be talking about second seasons and so on and so forth. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about housekeeping. So first of all, we're on Spotify. This is the second week we've been on Spotify, but all the podcast episodes that were available like privately, they are all on Spotify. So it's equally distributed and things like that. No one's asked for the older stuff, so I'm not bothered yet, which is all good and glorious, right? Obviously, like, comment, subscribe. We got the audio version now on Spotify. We also have Discords, Patreon, and streaming. So it's all a bit of chaotic. But go follow us on our respective profiles and stuff like that.
And then Blue Sky, because we mostly do Blue Sky these days.
Yeah. And then lastly, we have the D&D character alignment episode. So what is an episode of Kanpai Cast without shilling this upcoming episode once more? So the idea is you go into the description, there should be a link to the form, the Google form. You simply just describe, so you're asked which shows are of which alignment. So you might say that Full Metal Panic is lawful neutral, right? You might say that Goblin Slayer is lawful evil. You might say so on and so forth. And it's all subjective, it's all a bit of fun and everything. And then we will go through it and dissect it ourselves to see what people have actually suggested as the words, the alignment grid. Right now we only have one submission, so the episode will not go forward until we get more. But yeah, so that's it for now. So I will hand over to Thaylien, whose episode idea this was.
Fair enough. So, there's an ongoing trend in anime that simply says that the second season is going to ruin the first. And there's quite a lot of evidence to back that up. We've seen time and again some of our favourite shows get a second season and then just disappoint us. But on the other hand, wow, that's loud banging out there. On the other hand, there are just a few, that actually just get better and better as time goes on. Now, we're not going to discuss everything that's had a season 2 ever, because even just the ones in our system that we've reviewed or talked about so far on the show, we end up with, I think, 40, 50, 60 or so shows. And we're not going to get through all of those. We're also not going to go into some of the really long-running shows. I mean, you can't really judge the second season of One Piece because there's like 18. So season 5 might be the worst one, but then it gets a little bit better, or and I don't know. It's a very subjective thing there. So we're going to stick to the ones we know and we have actually seen and watched that actually do have worse or sometimes even better second seasons. So does anybody want to start us off?
For instance, I would say that Maid in Abyss's second season is so much better than the first. If we're looking for somewhere to start anyway.
The ones that are better. Yeah. Fair enough.
Shoot, where is that?
Oh, fun things.
There, Nasuth, bottom middle, yeah.
This one? Oh yeah. That's the dragon guy.
The
Yeah. So first season was good, but we've said this many times when we talk about Made in Abyss. It's one of those where the movie versions are better because it's not that there's a lot of filler in season 1, but it does feel a little, I don't know, there's almost too much world building, if that makes sense. You know, they spend a lot of time in the upper level, and
talking about it and showing the world around, yeah.
Yeah, and so while that's good and useful, it means that you spend a lot of time there before you actually get down into the abyss. And meanwhile, in season 2, you know, it's all in the golden city of the scorching sun, and you really get to like into the nitty gritty of how that place got, you know, created. The group that went down there ahead of them to found the city, all that stuff, and it culminates so beautifully, as opposed to season 1 where it is a good ending, but it feels almost like it would have been a better ending if they'd done the Wandering Twilight stuff with Bondrewd, as opposed to where it ends with Ozen.
I get where you're coming from, but in all honesty, I don't agree. I feel that I got so bored of season 1, I really switched off and unplugged.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, it wasn't until like
this is the show that's better.
It wasn't until Ozen that it got better. You know, it got really interesting. Or maybe Nanachi.
I think it was like Nanachi onwards that really highlighted but that was right at the end of the series, and I feel that the movies did the
so
series
much better.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was. I do agree with you that season 2 is a huge exemplification of why Made in Abyss is great. But at the same time, I know it doesn't improve season 1 in any way, shape, or form. I feel that...
Is that the criteria, though?
No, it's not. But at the same time, we are talking about later seasons impacting earlier seasons as well. Yeah?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that was one of the...
No. I think in here, it's safe to say that this second season impacts the first season not at all.
Right. Okay.
Right. But one show, if I may, tangent.
Of course. Yes.
One show that I find really is made better by the existence of the second season is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Right?
Okay.
First season, I enjoyed it, but I felt like I kind of want more.
It's just cute slice of life. It's season 1. Whereas season 2, they start introducing like a lot of the backstory and the more interesting stuff about the dragons.
Yeah, it exemplifies everything you loved about the first season, and to me, I enjoy the first season more with the addition of the second season, right? Yeah. Because I know there is more good stuff to be had with Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Whereas, like, there's, I love No Game, No Life, but I'll always be left wanting for more, until they do a second season or a continuation movie or something like that. Not the prequel movie doesn't obviously count in this regard. I think
a better one to compare it to would actually be a second season of Masterful Cat, because I think that would just be more of the same, as opposed to Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, which is more of the same plus. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Additional things.
I was mostly referring to the fact that if I was just left with a season 1 and wanting more,
right? Okay.
That's more. Or I suppose My Dress Up Darling is very similar in that regard, because like we haven't had season 2 yet. Yes, season 2 has been announced, but it could be a flop for all we know. And yeah, and likewise, I think that a second season can massively negatively impact the reception of the first season, to the point of I don't want to watch the first season again. So
like Spy Family.
I kind of gave up on Spy Family in season 1, but that's besides the point. No, actually no, I was going to talk about Infinite Stratos, but I think I'm actually going to pivot and talk about Log Horizon instead. Okay. And Log Horizon season 1 is really, really good. Like they really talk about how the world of the video game has become its own independent world, and yes, they're still players, but at the same time they're doing stuff that, you know, they can taste food, and they can, you know, stuff in a video game that they shouldn't be able to naturally do. And you know, so again, the first season was really good because a lot of it was spent around exploring this stuff. But season 2 was all about, let's have character A have sort of like a midlife crisis because she likes character B. And like, what? It really diverges. And they did a third season of Log Horizon after many, many years. And Loz and I painstakingly watched season 2, or season 1 and 2. And we couldn't get through the first episode of season 3 because it was just more of the same stuff as season 2. And we were like, no, we were hoping this was going to get better, but it is just the same. And yeah, we care not to watch Log Horizon again.
Fair point.
Jeez. Thaylien, how do you feel?
There's a few of those ones that really do hit you, that they make you not want to watch the original series again. Specifically because of how badly they did. And let's see if it's on the list, because I'm not sure it will be. But Blue Lock.
Oh, I don't think we have
God.
No. So I think we do have Blue Lock somewhere, but so the Blue Lock stood out to me as a rather unique take on a sports anime in the first place, because the idea behind it is it's certifiable. It's not a great. It's not a sane setting. So the basis for the Blue Lock is that they're trying to train a superstar striker by taking all the best strikers and putting them into this strange facility where they then have to compete in the football equivalent of Squid Games to become more and more vicious. And you see the first season is our main character going on a villain arc where he becomes more and more selfish, more and more vicious, more and more driven to succeed, right? But then the second season comes along and the quality dips so badly. So you see worse than just, static images where the characters, maybe with some action lines, which you'd think are animation saving techniques in anime. But then you see what we did get, which looked like they were literally sliding the characters about with a mouse on Photoshop. Yeah. They had PNGs of the characters cut out and a PNG of the football that they just went around the screen with. And it was so disappointing that something that actually had the quality there in the original could dip that far, that I don't think I can watch the first season again, specifically because the outcome of it, the thing that they're building up to, is so bad.
Yeah.
It's a very tainting kind of situation on that one.
Well,
There's so many more in the list as well.
I see one on here that I'm really curious why Xeno added, because as I understand it, neither season is very good after the first few episodes. And that's Arifureta? From what I understand, season 2 is just as bad as season 1, except that season 1 had those first few episodes that were really, really, really good. And then it was just all downhill from there. So, is this just a case of where season 2 is essentially the same as season 1, but they're both bad?
No. Do remember to populate this list? I just went through the system and just went. If it's a season 2, okay. just add it in. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So there's no real reason for it to be there.
No, but at the same time, I think case in point, solo leveling, right? Solo leveling, not particularly to bash on it, but I think the three of us all agree that season 1 wasn't that particularly good.
Yeah.
But you guys seem to agree that season 2 is good.
It's still trashy power fantasy, but at least it doesn't feel like they're leaving you in the dark about everything, half the time.
They're expecting you to have read the manhwa in order to understand it.
Exactly. And there's actually things happening aside from just our main character Ara farming, although there is still a lot of that too. Like the fact that they deal with the whole mother situation or subplot in the second season instantly makes it better. The fact that we know what a second awakening is now instantly makes it better.
Yes, unless you are one of those people that watched it for the Chad-based aura farming who think that
those people
episode
need to go away.
Absolutely that just ruined their Chadley character by having him cry on camera. It's just, I don't know.
The fact that we deal with Jeju Island, again, instantly makes it better.
Yes. So the solo leveling is, season 2 is better because they actually brought it up to the level of a decent power scaling anime.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was just below standard of that. So having the bar set low allowed it for an easy step up to be better, if you see what I mean.
It's still nowhere near a must watch, but it is at least now an acquired taste, which is a huge difference from where it was before.
It's a huge difference. So
the same cannot really be said, however, about where is it?
Blue Lock?
No. Okay. Shouldn't it be on this page? Go Loser Ranger. Or is that
okay.
Where is that? I see it in the list over here.
Yeah.
It's got Chidori's face. That's why.
Yes, it has.
I see.
Yeah.
So season 2 is better, but I don't know that it makes season 1 watchable enough to get to season 2. And solo leveling, I can kind of make that argument that you can get through season 1, even if it's a little difficult. But I'm not sure I can make that recommendation for solo leveling. Just because season 2 is better and things are actually more interesting that are happening.
For Go Loser Ranger, you mean?
Yeah, for Go Loser Ranger, yeah. Doesn't mean season 1 is just so disappointing because of where you think it's going to go. And then it just sits there and wastes your time until it gets to the tournament arc at the end. And it's just like, oh, come on. I would never go back and watch season 1 again.
So, thinking of that one versus my one, because my one was that something ruins the season 1 with the season 2.
Yes.
Shows that the season 2 is bad, but then highlights how good the season 1 is and makes you want to go watch the season 1 again. First on that list would be Rising of the Shield Hero. Next on that list would be One Punch Man. Next on
I was going to say Goblin Slayer. Yeah.
But an odd one for me is when I watched out of, it's been a while, was Science Fell in Love. So that's not actually on our system.
Oh,
so just gonna talk about it very quickly because it's one of those ones. Because we can talk about the other three, that's absolutely fine. Which is what I remember. Science Fell in Love. One of the main characters, who was mostly this happy-go-lucky character in the first season, is revealed to be happy-go-lucky because of severe self-esteem issues. She views herself as not normal. Okay. And in an effort to be more normal, she begins going out with a random guy who seems nice at first and is then revealed to be a scumbag. He ends up pretty much kidnapping her, calling all his friends and attempting to do things. But then the male main character shows up and puts a stop to that with a PowerPoint presentation. I shit you not, PowerPoint presentation.
oh my lord.
So after that, she's immediately fine and ends up falling for him, which is problematic because he already has an established girlfriend who has been dating since the end of the first season. And none of us signed up for a love triangle on this show. They completely ditched the whole theming of the first season in order to force a love triangle. And so, I go back to the first season. It's better. Just watch that and enjoy it. But okay, so for one, we will have definitely on system. If you want to find it, Nasuth, Fooly Cooly.
Oh. Xeno will probably get there before I do. Do you really? I mean, would you count those other ones as second seasons or like sequel seasons?
I would count them as sequels. I'd count them as sequels.
Yeah,
the branding,
I guess they do
the
technically have
branding
the same
counts them as
character.
sequels.
With Haruho,
Yeah.
Haruha.
Oh.
Haruha?
And in fact, they're easy. In fact, a direct sequel with all the same characters set later on.
But they're not
And
made
it's
by.
terrible.
But they're not even made by the same. I don't even think they're even written by the same people.
I don't think so either. No.
It's like they're
But
just
that's
putting
the
the
whole
corpse of
thing.
of Fulikuli.
Yes, it highlights that what Fooly Cooly did was like a lightning in a bottle. It's a flash of genius, and then it's over. It's done. You can't do it again because it'll never have that same feeling or weirdness to it.
I kind of liked Alternative, but not. It's nowhere near as good. Nowhere near as good.
Yeah, exactly. If it stopped trying to be Fooly Cooly and just did what it did as an independent show,
yeah,
so
it'd be
much better.
fine. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
But the fact that they keep trying to drag Haruha, it is Haruha, right? Am I doing it right, or is it Haruhi?
No, Haruha.
Haru.
Yeah, okay.
Haru.
Haru.
Oh. Yes.
So yeah, the fact that they keep trying to bring her in there
Yep.
without really expanding the story of the Pirate King or anything. Like Furikuli was interesting because it was like they sliced out 6 episodes of a larger story, and there are hints there about the larger story, but it's left to your imagination. And then the fact that they bring these characters back, but it's like they're completely disconnected from that story now. It's just so wrong.
Yep. It's literally chopping up an old show and rehashing the bits.
So while you've been talking, I've had a look, and none of the original staff
did alternative.
Sorry, no, Progressive. I haven't looked at alternative yet.
Progressive might have been the one I liked. Whichever one had the girl. I think it might have been Progressive.
Oh, yeah, the one that swapped all the genders and made them into a different universe.
Same with Alternative.
And
Alternative
the other two.
seems to have the same. Yeah, Alternative seems to have the same staff as Progressive. What Grunge doesn't actually list their staff. Which is
I don't know if they want to be associated.
interesting. And again, Shoegaze doesn't list their staff.
Wow.
So it's like it's a completely different thing. It's like taking something that people
It's like
did
taking
enjoy
the Star
of
Trek
one.
IP and making Discovery.
Oh God, you're not wrong. But again, I looked up Blue Lock. And comparing that to the second season, I'm pretty sure Blue Lock versus U20 Japan is the second season. It's kind of hard to tell because it'd be nice if someone just put season 2. There we go. Scroll down, and again, the original creators were actually on the project team, but the director was someone completely different. So like they had one guy, Tezuka Watanabe, who was the director and episode director, OP director, and storyboard. He was not involved at all in the second season. In fact, the only other two people apart from the original creators was the series composition person and the person behind the music. They were the only people that were actually between both seasons. And I do feel that when it comes to not having the original talent, it really, really shows. Like,
Yeah.
Shield Hero is a prime example of this.
And Goblin Slayer, for that matter.
Let's talk about Shield Hero.
Go on then.
Because, you've said a lot over the years. And I've only watched the second season of Shield Hero once. I couldn't do it again.
Same.
To find out what I really liked about it, what really vibed with the with how different it was. So it's a very different experience when you watch the two, one after the other. It almost, as we've said in the past, it's almost like they've massively condensed an entire arc into 6 episodes. And it should have either been a movie or stretched out for the entire thing to give us some actual impact, to make characters matter, to make situations make more sense and not feel like they took place over the course of hours instead of days or weeks.
Oz would have been so much more impactful if we'd gotten to know her better, for instance.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't want to say why, because spoilers, but,
No, it's a very particular difference.
I could,
Even
I
the
didn't
characters.
Did we even know who the green-haired girl was before season 2? I think we did, but, she'd barely been mentioned.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
I think
she was right at the end.
And we still don't really get much
introduced to
development
them.
for her in season 2. It's so sad.
But it's really interesting in terms of the talent, because you compare the directors between season 1 and season 2. We have in season 1 Takao Abo, and his list is really, really short. Plenty of stuff I've not heard of, but Shield Hero is one of the 4 things he's ever directed. Right, so he's done Norn 9, which I have no idea what it is, 22/7, and then a special for 22/7. That's and Shield Hero. That's all he's done, right?
As director.
As director. No, that's across the whole lot. But he was director. Wow. He was episode director for Shield Hero, and he was storyboard for Shield Hero, and ED director, which I think is the ending. But he was involved really heavily across the board.
Right.
But if you look at the list, the director list for the second director, Masato Jinbao, right? He's done things like I think the second quintessential quintuplets movie, Legend of Mana, the first quintessential quintuplets movie, Restaurant in Another World, which I have not heard a single good thing about.
I didn't really like Legend of Mana either.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a nothing thing for me.
Yeah. Like the Chaos Child. There's there's a lot of stuff in this list which I have heard as not being very good at all. Right?
Is this same director the one? Did he do season 3 too, or did they switch to somebody else?
No, they did swap to someone else for season 3. I know this because I looked
So
this
each
up
season has
before.
had a different director. Wow.
Yes. Well, I don't know about season 4 because I haven't looked at season 4. I probably
Well, it
could
hasn't
get that
happened yet,
information.
so
Like the third Star Wars trilogy.
yeah. Technically, Star Wars trilogy had the same director for the first and third, but yes.
Yeah.
Sort of.
But the thing is that so the third director, Hitoshi Haga, right? He's doing the fourth season. He also was involved in Star Wars Visions. To what degree I cannot say, right? So that could be hit or miss.
Turns out it was Tatooine Rhapsody.
He was assistant director for Made in Abyss, Dawn of the Deep Soul, and he was assistant director for Made in Abyss, right? He was episode director in the original Rising of the Shield Hero, and that's pretty much his
That
list,
explains why season
right?
3 is better, but still not great.
Because
Still not amazing.
Somebody who's actually worked on the original one was back for the third. Yeah. So, can the same be said about One Punch Man?
Let me go.
Is this the same situations? Let's have a look.
Well, I know One Punch Man was Madhouse and swapped to JC Staff.
And season 3 is also going to be JC Staff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you think we get more of the same, or do we get a return to form? That's a nice wager to place.
Well, I guess it depends on if they bring in any of the old talent from Madhouse, which might not be possible because different companies. But you never know. It's been enough time that some of those people might no longer be working for Madhouse and maybe more open agents. So while Zeno looks this up. Oh no, sorry, I think he's got it.
Pretty much got it. So the director was someone else
for season 2.
Season 2. And the animation producer was someone else, right? But the rest of the staff was the same, right?
Wow.
But to be honest, I think, though I want to throw the director under the bus for Rising of the Shield Hero, I don't think I can do the same for One Punch Man, because I am fully aware of the source material, and I know in the source material there's not a great deal to work with, right? They chop a lot out in season 2. Like, I think everything in with Zombie Man should have happened during the course of season 2. I think they removed that entirely. For everyone else's benefit, Zombie Man is one of the other S-rank heroes alongside Genos. Sorry, yeah, we're going to ask.
Do you think leaving that stuff in would have made season 2 better? Is it a case of it's not so much the story of season 2, but the animation quality, or No,
I think it's just a simple case of that. Like most shonen Is this a shonen thing or is this a shonen jump thing? I'm going to
just call it
specifically say
shonen
shonen.
for safe. Yeah, for safety.
Well, no, I mean, like, most of the things that I can think of, it does fall into shonen jump doing this. But, like, most of the time, like, shonen stuff gets dragged out longer and longer and longer. So, like, for example, you know, I've said this multiple times. Season 3, if they cover another 6 volumes of the manga, right, you will not see Saitama at all, right? Because it focuses so heavily on a lot of the other S-rank heroes. So if Season 3 is going to be any good, they need to condense 12 volumes down into it. They probably need to chop out a lot of fights, right?
I was just wondering, the other option is they could change the story to make room for Saitama. I don't know if that would that be something that's even possible though?
I don't
while keeping the spirit of it. Could they add Saitama?
Only if he's doing other random shit that's not part of the main story.
The whole thing was him not being present there at all. Was what caused so much of the things going on.
Right.
Yeah. Like his absence is important.
Yes.
They did manage
without
to
him there, the other heroes do stuff.
They did manage to kind of do that with JJK, where they got Gojo out of the picture. So maybe they could do it and still tell a good story. I don't see why that would be necessarily a problem.
I don't know how much of JJK they actually chopped out, though.
True.
Right? I've not read JJK.
No, but I'm saying they don't necessarily have to chop anything out. They can keep Saitama out of it and still have a good story, potentially.
I think an alternative is they do a mini skip, right? Like, you know, they really montage like the first few volumes because a lot of it is set up, and you know you just skip all of that stuff.
Do we know if season 3 is going to have the same staff as season 2?
Right, so that is something I was going to look up. But I got too invested in talking.
Yeah. We started talking about season 3, which is good, but we're season 2's here. Season 2's.
So let's have a look. Ooh, is this completely different staff again?
It's been so many years, it wouldn't surprise me.
They've not listed the director. So
wow.
I have no idea.
Ooh.
They haven't actually listed the director. So it's possible it's the same person. But yeah, I think they're going to struggle, right, with season 3. But this is unless they make season 3 a 2 core, right? But a large draw of season 1 was Saitama turning up towards the end of the fight, and the ends of the fight were like maybe a couple of episodes. The fights were maybe a couple of episodes long, but one of the fights in One Punch Man is several volumes long.
Right.
It's huge, you know.
But not in the. So you're saying that's one of the fights in. That would appear in season 3, or one of the fights that
would appear in season 3.
Okay,
that will appear in season 3.
Okay,
right. It's mass. So like they'll have to cut out a lot in order to get Saitama in there, or Saitama just won't appear.
Right.
Or,
but that's to season 2.
Specifically with the fight, rather than cut stuff out, they would have to make it a lot faster.
Yeah.
All of the things happening at once rather than giving them any of the Dragon Ball Z time to stop and think. They would just have to hit every single second.
The other side of it is, like, I'm volume 29, right? I haven't read 30 yet. It is out. But the stuff between Saitama and Goro hasn't even started yet. Right? And all of season 2... What?
No, continue. I didn't know you were done or weren't done. Sorry.
Yeah, all of season 2 was hunting Boru. Shit, what was his name?
I think it is Garu.
Garo.
Right.
Yes.
The whole of season 2 is about hunting Garo down, right? And like, he is pivotal to season 3, but the whole fight between Saitama and Garo will just not happen in season 3 at all.
Yeah. So this is
bringing
where
it back to season 2,
there's a couple of official places
what is it
online as well.
What is it about did season 2 make season 1 less watchable?
Now, it made me want to go back and watch season 1 because I feel that season 1 is better. I feel that it's better paced, better put together overall, and I just did not enjoy. It was something. It was off for season 2.
I feel that season 2 does not detract from the show enough to make me not enjoy season 1. I can go away and enjoy season 1 and just go, I'm not going to bother with season 2.
Unlike Shield Hero, where it's like,
The problem with the difference here is season 1 of One Punch Man. It is hilarious juxtaposition and tongue-in-cheek of the whole superhero genre.
Yeah.
Right? That I don't think a lot of people actually understand. I think a lot of people think that
they take it seriously, as opposed to
they do take it seriously.
Not parody. Deconstruction?
No, it's a parody. It's not
parody?
A deconstruction.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Madhouse went like, we're not going to adapt any more of this. We have rounded it off. It's a nice conclusion. We have done a satisfying ending, right? Like, No Game, No Life has a satisfying ending. I still want more. I will always want more, but it has a satisfying ending. Problem with Rising of the Shield Hero, I am burning for more, right? I'm having the itches. I need more Shield Hero. I need more Shield Hero because it ends on such a pivotal introduction to a more world narrative. I need more. Right? And because season 2 is what we got, it just feels like it's pissing on the grave of season 1.
Yeah, in that sense. Yeah. So let's take that energy and apply it to Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Goblin Slayer.
One of the key issues with Goblin Slayer is that for anybody that's read the manga, they just skip the rest of the manga and move on to something so far after what should be the next point. It is the start of season 2 that it's genuinely not even funny.
It's so depressing.
And that just leaves you wondering how these two sides are interconnected. On top of that, the fall off with the animation quality.
Oh God!
This is why I stopped watching season 2 because I'm still reading Berserk. I'm now on volume 28 of 42. Yeah. And one of the things I want to go back to after I finish Berserk is Goblin Slayer.
God! Get it off the screen! Oh, jeez! For the audio listeners, it's the Goblin Slayer staircase scene where it's all the perspective is wrong.
Oh, it's so wrong. It looks like he's very confused because the last 3 steps of the stairs have just kind of flattened off. And he's just standing there wondering how he's going to step up that.
Yeah, clearly. What was I saying before?
Geez, what was he saying?
What was I saying?
Oh god, so yeah. So as I finish off with the animation quality.
You're reading Berserk. You're reading Berserk.
Yes, and you want to go back and read Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, because there's, I think, 5 more volumes out since I've actually stepped away from it. And again, like there was stuff in the movie that they randomly changed. There's the whole year 1 side story that I'm interested in reading as well. There's a lot of options and things like this when it comes to Goblin Slayer. But for some strange reason, they skipped 2 whole seasons. Goblin Slayer Abridged actually takes the piss out of this. Because, it's just like, oh, winter's coming. And, we've got to prepare for winter. And it's like, oh, it's summer now. What happened to the last 2 seasons? And we just skip that. They skipped 2 whole arcs of Goblin Slayer. So yeah,
and for no good reason. It's not like One Punch Man where skipping ahead might be good. They did it for no good reason.
It was also so important as well because you find out more backstory of what the goblins are doing.
Oh my god!
And I think one of the problems is that can we go into spoilers for Goblin
Slayer?
I don't think anyone's really going to go away and watch Goblin Slayer. But if you want to read Goblin Slayer, there's So, give you some time. Time's taken.
Plug your ears, Thaylien, if you don't want to hear anything.
Lol. So, the important thing here is in the Goblin Slayer manga, first off, the attack on the farm is not the last story in the series. That's actually the second to last one. The last one is Watertown. Right? So they actually changed the order of those 2 stories. Why this is important is because there is another attack on the farm, right? But this is not being led by a goblin. It's actually being led by a a dark elf. Right? And you learn that basically the goblins are minions for the Demon King's generals, right? But a lot of the time, the goblins are left unkept. They're like rodents, sort of thing. They just go run amok, right? But they can be influenced and controlled and things like this.
Rounded up and pointed in the right direction.
Yeah. After that narrative, after the second attack, they then have the movie narrative, which I got halfway through in terms of the manga, and then I caught up to the manga, and there wasn't any more to read. But they had changed things. So basically, all the characters in the adventuring party had fallen victim to the goblins, right? That none of them were alive, right? And they changed that for the movie. So I think when the second studio picked it up, they thought, let's not address any of this mess and let's just skip ahead, right?
Right.
So they had 2 perfectly good stories.
We need to have a beach scene with everyone in the bikinis instead.
Yeah, they had 2 perfectly good stories to tell.
Which, to be fair, I am not averse to a good beach bikini episode.
They had 2 perfectly good stories to tell, but because one of them was basically right off the heels of the last one they told in season 1, and the second one was basically the movie done right, they opted just not to do them. Right? And that was the mistake. They should have done them right. Right? It does look like that because I did a quick look, and apparently
do we want to keep spoilers on, or do you want to?
Yeah, keep them on.
Okay.
Keep them on. The brother of the mage that died in the first episode, does genuinely make an appearance, and Goblin Slayer having a breakdown does genuinely happen in the manga, right? But again, that's as far as the manga got, and then it was up to them to make up whatever the fuck they wanted. So, like, I need to go away and I need to read it.
Mm-hmm.
So, just read the manga. But I wanted to talk about a series. I wanted to talk about a series where the second season massively makes up for the first season.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And that is ReZero, if I can spot it. There it is.
Oh yes.
Right.
So the first season of ReZero is not that good.
That's
right.
That's not ReZero, is it?
That doesn't look like ReZero in the slightest. That looks like Your Lie in April. No, that's his.
That's Negima.
Didn't it show the Goblin Slayer?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
I think that one's just a bit weird.
Yeah. Probably the colon. The colon's probably throwing it off.
Must not make jokes. Must not make jokes. Must not make jokes.
Do we need to pause while you fix it, or do we want to just press on?
Hold on. Hopefully, me fucking around with it in the background is actually good.
So, ReZero, I never got into. I consistently can't get past the first couple of episodes.
Same.
It just doesn't. The vibe on this one just hits me wrong.
There we go.
So, knowing that Xeno says that the second season actually makes it better.
Didn't you say that the director's cut of season 1 is also more watchable?
I haven't watched it. I've heard it's more watchable.
Oh, okay.
Right, but I've never actually watched it. The whole thing with Subaru is that he believes his own hype, right? He believes that because he's been isekai to another world, he is the chosen hero and he can do no wrong, right? Or like you very quickly learn in ReZero, Subaru's ability is effectively when he dies, he goes to a reset point. And
but he has no control over when the reset point is.
Yes, right. But there's a lot going on with his life and things like this, his interactions with other characters. And season 1 does drag a non-zero amount.
Yes.
But when I watched season 2, I watched, I think, the first episode of season 2, and I was instantly hooked. They had changed the dynamics so heavily. They changed a lot. Subaru, at this point in time, was massively humbled because he'd come off the end of season 1, right? He wasn't the arrogant dickhead protagonist who thinks he can do absolutely everything. He's just... He has to do the best he can the first time around because he doesn't know if he's going to get a second time around. Right?
I've heard somebody describe the arcs of this as the 7 sins that he's trying to overcome. And his first one being pride.
Pride, yeah.
I can't remember.
Does that make sense?
Kind of. But yeah, it's
kind of, okay.
Another big pro to Subaru is that he cannot do the magic and the combat that the world's heroes can. Right?
All he's got is his reset power, which is uncontrollable.
No. There's one more thing that he has, and that's his intelligence. Like he he is a smart kid, right? But he doesn't initially believe in himself, and it's all about strategy and how to deal with certain situations. If you really want a good starting point of what ReZero is. Watch Gigux ReZero in 7 minutes or 11 minutes or something in a nutshell.
Right.
It's like,
It is pretty good.
you know, it is really, really good. And it just basically gives like the whole vibe of what ReZero actually is. But season 2 genuinely is really, really good. Same with season 3. I really enjoy season 3.
But does it make season 1 more watchable?
No.
Okay.
That's like I still can't bring myself to go back and watch season 1. Maybe the director's cut version will, but it's
maybe
like,
that's something we should watch sometime if we can ever get our anime nights going, or anime watching parties going again.
yeah, if I'm not streaming. La la la.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is a very, very good series, and it is massively held back by the first season. To the point of people just won't touch it because it is generic isekai slop. But gets so much better.
So just on a tangent, because of these ones, either of you watched The Promised Neverland?
Zeno
I
has, I haven't.
Watch the first season.
Because I haven't. I'm told when I was looking through for this topic, the most popular return of the worst sequel seasons was The Promised Neverland.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard that for whatever reason they skip something crazy like 70 chapters in the manga just to skip straight to the end. And there is so little known and understood.
Is that why you haven't watched it, Zeno? Because you've heard all these bad things about it?
Yes. I've heard plenty of bad things, and I really, really enjoyed season 1. Season 1
don't want to ruin
really,
it.
really good. I don't want to ruin it.
Right.
You know?
Keeping this tangent going of the ones we've not really watched but heard about, do you want to know one of the shows that recently made a big splash because it's the direct contrast to Blue Lock season 2?
Go on.
Uma Musume Pretty Derby.
Oh my god. Okay. Can I just
She's
say,
actually watching
Loz
this,
and I
isn't
have
he?
been watching it.
Yeah.
Loz and I have been
You've been
watching
watching
this. Yes.
Okay, so the first season of this show is more about kind of like the slice of life.
Do we even have it? I don't think we even have it.
No, we wouldn't. It's about this kind of slice of life of the thing where these are racehorses that are anime girls, basically, with just little horses and tails. And they there's a whole franchise around the Uma Musume in general. But for some reason, season 2 of this one, of Pretty Derby, has turned into an actual sports action anime that has some real drama, tension, and some amazing animation. I mean, it's all of the of this sprinting action animation that it's just like all the budget from Blue Lock went to Uma Musume for that season.
I don't know about that because I think that the reference I keep seeing is actually the Uma Musume movie, right?
Yes. But
So it's like
again, the actual
comparing-
season 2 has been massively praised in general from the fan base
Yeah,
for
but
becoming
like,
a proper sports anime.
so first off, season 1 was not a slice of life. It was just as much of a sports anime as season 2 is.
Yeah, it's
right,
but it's a little bit more world introductory and less of the action. This one seems to be more full.
No, honestly, genuinely, there's a lot of action in season 1, like hell of a lot, right? The animation in season 1, there's a lot more CGI in season 2, right?
There is.
And they're using it in like the right
Appropriate
places,
ways,
like, you know, when you got characters really far away, you don't need that level of detail. So yeah, just you know, season 1 and 2, like the animation is absolutely gorgeous. The hijinks are hilarious. Like that's more of the slice of life side of it, but it's very far and few between. But a lot of the comparisons I have seen, and I don't think this is fair, they should do season 2 footage, but they're not. They're using the bloody movie, and it's just like, yeah, but that's going to have a much higher budget.
Yes, it is. Didn't it come out at the same time though? So
okay, that is a fair point.
So it's more the thing of the comparison from things released at the same time. So that's why they say all the budget went from one to the other, because yes, it's a movie budget.
Yeah. So yeah,
Still.
it's crazy.
Yeah. So okay, there's a few of these shows that I do like, because I said at the beginning that we wouldn't really focus on any of the ones with the massively long amounts of seasons. But there are two that I would bring up briefly. Mm-hmm. Okay. The first, I'm just going to skate on through this because I bring it up a lot, is Bleach.
Okay.
Because the first season is just the arc of introducing him as a character and Rukia as a character. The second arc is going off to Soul Society. And that is universally acclaimed as a huge shift in the series, and one of the best arcs of the show.
Well, if you ask Xeno, that's all still first season. Second season is 1,000-Year Blood War.
Yeah,
because they don't divide them up. I get you.
But Thaylien said arc, not season.
That's fair. That is fair.
I did say arc, yes. Considering they break their arcs down in the show into like double core seasons, it's into that equivalent of episodes. I can say arc, and it means roughly the same thing as it would be. So, I do like the fact that that's actually one of the few long-running shonen shows that has generally just got a better second season. But the other one would be one that gets a consistently better season every time it releases a new season, which is Danmachi.
Yeah. I can...
So,
100%
the first season is watchable. Makes some mistakes of the early shows, and I think it suffers from the fact that the author themselves didn't quite know where they were going with the show. So the first season is a good adaptation, just the source material wasn't so great yet. But then,
why does she look like... Oh, the picture moved on.
Why does she look like a ninja?
No, I was going to say, why does she look like she belongs in Attack on Titan?
Oh, yeah, they all have different...
She has a scarf?
Yeah, it's a scarf and things. And the double swords.
Yeah, something about the armor, too. I don't know, anyway.
Yes. So that... but that's different familiar when they have different theming.
Yeah. Sorry, continue. Complete tangent. Don't listen to me.
So each season of Danmachi, every time they release one, I legitimately felt bad when I didn't watch the start of season 5. Because Xeno started watching it and he had to come and tell me a lot. So, okay.
Have you watched it yet? Have you watched it yet? Have you watched it yet?
He kept it because he wanted to talk about it with somebody. And then I was mean to him. And then I was mean to him because I watched one of the episodes, the last episode before they went on a couple of week break.
And spoiled it.
And mentioned something to him when I thought he would have watched it, but he hadn't been home yet. I thought
actually, no, I think I was working at the time. I think I was working. I'm like, I'm fucking working right now.
Yeah. And no, so...
You're watching on your lunch break. Come on.
Yes.
It wasn't out then.
No, actually, no, because this is what... I saw it the day before. So I thought you would have seen
different sources, yeah.
But he was working, so it was one of those weekends when he was busy.
How can I ruin it?
So,
the magical blue
so
stream.
I mentioned one sentence. I said, "Isn't she such a poor loser?" And that just ruined it.
And now you've ruined it for the audience.
No, because how would they know what I'm referring to?
Well, they will once they start watching season 5. They'll get to a certain point and they'll be like, "Oh,
anyway,
that's what you meant."
Yeah. And I feel really bad for not having started it when Dino did, because it is one of those shows that this is a power progression show, not a power fantasy show, where they are showing how all of their characters are improving and leveling up and going through their system over time, and how this changes them, how the difference in fame, the difference in opportunities, the difference in connections is changing their story over time to match their growth. And I'm really pleased that over time the show has improved the same way they have.
Yeah, I mean, it is impressive to say that shows like Danmachi have been able to keep up the quality of the show, keep on the progression and everything, and make it entertaining and memorable throughout. I think, though...
Nope, sorry, go ahead.
I think there are shows, though, that you pick up the second episode, sorry, not the second episode, the second season, and you're just like, I want to check out of this so hard. I did have one. I don't know if it's actually in yeah, so it's Food Wars. I don't think we've got it on. Right. Do we have it in the system, Food Wars?
I don't think we do, actually.
Nope,
I'm not sure we've ever...
Right, so we got season 1. And then we got season 1.
I can't believe you're being a sensibar again, Nasuth.
So the big thing with Food Wars is that again, it's very stereotypical shonen. It's very long drawn out combat scenes to do with food, and I think season 2 came out, I don't think particularly long after season 1, but I couldn't remember any of season 1, and I was just like, I kind of don't want to watch season 1 again just to find out what the hell happened.
Okay.
Food Wars. I'm just trying to find it. And like this is a show that's had like so Food Wars was 2015. When was the second season? Yeah, it was literally the year after, 2016. Right? And I just couldn't pick it up. Right? I've had this with a few shows. Dr. Stone is another one I just didn't want to continue. I'm trying to think what else has there been that had a second season that I like watched maybe one episode of, and just Beaufry. Beaufry was another one. I really enjoyed the first season.
Yes, same here.
But second season, I was just like, I'll wait for it all to come out, you know.
And then you never came back to it.
I just never came back to it. Another show that.
Oh, I've got so many things piling up now that I want to talk about.
Yeah. What's it called? Is it wrong to? No, not that one. The Devil's a Part-Timer, right?
Yes, that one I've heard some panning on the second season.
So the first season, for the time, was really good, but there was very few reverse isekai that had come out at this point. But then, when the second season eventually came out, it was just like, what is this? And yeah, I instantly dropped that as well. There's another one called Birdy, the Mighty Decode, which the first season is absolutely amazing, but because I don't think they had any source material for the second season, they kind of just made it up. They ruined like everything about the first season, and it's just like, I don't want to know. Sorry, Nasuth, you said you wanted.
Yeah, I've got like 3 things that I want to talk about now.
Go for it.
So the first one, going back towards Danmachi and the quality of the sequel seasons either maintaining or getting better. That's not Mushoku Tensei.
No, it isn't.
Regardless, Mushoku Tensei, right? So I feel like season 2 started out at least the same quality, but then for me personally, it got way dragged down for a while. First with the school stuff, and then with Rudy's house and that whole subplot. But then towards the end of that subplot, it started picking up again. Like, I don't mind the slow parts. We've talked about this before. Season 1, what made season 1 so good was that they would take their time every now, they'd slow down the plot and they'd explore how the characters feel about things, and they would, get deeper into the relationships. But I just felt like the school stuff went on too long to me. And then again, but again, by the end with his daughter, no, not his daughter. Sorry, his sister.
Sister?
Having yes. her whole spoilery scene in the school, and then everything after that with going to rescue his father. All that was great. Mm-hmm. Really, right back to the peak of season 1. So I feel like that's at least one that's maintained its quality, even if I didn't like part of it.
Okay.
And then to Zeno's point about shows that you watch the first episode of the second season and you're like, oh no, I wanna instantly drop this. Where is it? I saw it in the
point
list.
To it on the list on the right, and I can.
It's Shoshimin.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So
will it actually?
So
yes.
in Shoshimin, I was worried because season 1 ended so perfectly. I was really worried about how season 2 would go, and that I might watch the first episode and be like, "No, I'm out. I'm done. Can't take this." But it was actually the reverse of that, where the first episode was like, "My goodness, this is exactly as good as season 1. How did they do this?" And so that that's just a very brief way to segue to my other question, which might take us to the end of our time. Are there any shows that that only have 1 season right now, but we're getting a sequel and you're worried about maintaining that quality? Because I have one.
My Dress Up Darling.
My Dress Up Darling, but I think the biggest one I'm worried about is Free Ren.
Yes.
That's a very, very high bar.
Is that another case of season 1 ended so perfectly, you're not even sure how they could do a season 2?
No, I'm sure that Madhouse could do an excellent season 2, but likewise,
they could just mess it up.
They could botch it. They could just like, oh well, we've done season 1. Now let's just phone it in. Like, I mean, Madhouse. The good thing is Madhouse aren't particularly known
to fuck things up,
phoning it in.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They are, they're stereotypically pretty good on in that regard, but it doesn't mean that they're exempt. Like, everyone can have an off day. I'm worried about, are they gonna screw the ending of Apothecary Diaries? Are they gonna that's still currently airing. The second season of Spice and Wolf has been announced, but are they gonna do that well? I mean, there's a lot.
There is a lot.
I think the one I'm most worried about right now is that I can think of is Undead Unluck. Because I know where the story of that one is supposed to be going. I've spoiled myself on it, even though I haven't read it. And I haven't even did that special ever come out? I think the special did come out. I never watched it.
Probably.
I need to watch it.
Hang on.
But I'm really worried that they won't be able to hit the story beats in the manga as well as, you know, season 1 was fantastic. Loved season 1. But I'm just worried that they won't be able to keep it up for season 2.
Yeah, that's very much the case.
Actually, one that I am worried about is Shangri-La Frontier season 3.
Okay. Yeah.
It could quite readily start drawing a lot of stuff out, and the pacing has been very solid as it stands. It is very shonen. It's one of the very few shonen that I can actually just get into and just fully enjoy. But yeah, that could go wrong.
That's not right.
So, just to end on a positive note for the thing, I have one more show where the sequel is better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's because I genuinely like the show in the first place, and I'm just glad they went on with the sequel. It's Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So first season, all about him going to hell instead of his hell of a life that he lived in before, and learning to disguise himself as a demon in hell because they don't believe humans exist anymore. And the second season, you know, you think, well, was it going to go into like more slice of life stuff? Is it just going to go into trying to do more of the discovery? No. This one, it decides to send him through an evil arc where he becomes incredibly motivated and selfish and desiring power, forcing him through it against his will. And the whole thing results in this magnificent triumphant moment. And he even gets to take the 8-foot-tall Amazonian fox girl on a date. It's like, wow! He's trained himself enough to use the little bit of power that he's got to do a bit of body reinforcement. So when I think she sprains her ankle, and he's able to give her a princess carry with a lot of effort, but he's able to carry her safely out of the water park back to a place where she can get treated. And the look of this tiny little man hauling this absolute Amazon of a woman in a princess carry is possibly the most adorable thing I've seen in my entire life. So that's the last of my shows that are better as they go on.
Are there any shows you're glad didn't get a second season, even though you wish they would because you're worried that it might get ruined? Like Knights and Magic. Are you, like, even though that would be amazing to have another season, there was no more source material. So
yeah,
would they just screw it up if they made a second season?
Knights and Magic is certainly one. Oddly enough, I heard a lot of requests for Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I don't want that. I think Cyberpunk Edge Runners ended.
If they did,
fine.
it would have to be a different group.
Yeah.
A show I'm really glad never got a second season is The Eminence in Shadow. It was so terrible. Somebody said there would be one, but no, I didn't.
And a movie.
That doesn't exist.
Glad neither of those happened.
No.
Yeah. I really want a second season of. I've always wanted a second season of Dead Man Wonderland.
Yes.
But could they actually do a decent job with that?
Probably not.
No, oh god, I saw it just a second ago. Dorohedoro. You were asking about like anime that I'm worried that they fuck up.
A new season coming. Yeah.
Oh yes.
They could potentially fuck that up.
Especially with as long as it's been.
Yep. So it's. I'd like more drifters, but again, they could just screw that up.
Oh yeah, I still need to watch that one.
It is pretty good, but it doesn't have a satisfying ending. You just want more.
Yeah. Cool.
So
anything else we can?
We just sequels in anime, hit and miss. It entirely depends on whether they can retain the charm of the original season, the staff of the original season, and actually don't skip out on the source material. The source material is what's made the show fun in the first place.
Yeah. Like, I think, actually, to be fair, like, one thing that is really overlooked, anime is meant to be a glorified advert for the source material. If they're able to sell memorabilia along the way, that's great. But the whole idea is that the production of the source material is so cheap by comparison of the anime or the movies or the video game, whatever. If they are able to see a boom in profits in the manga,
it substantiates making more of the season, more of the show.
Exactly. But likewise, if you do a shit adaptation a la beginning after the end, I'm wondering if that's going to actually hurt your sales to the point of, that looks awful, I don't want to read that.
I don't know, because they did a fairly good job of putting just the manga pages with colour on the screen.
And in theory, sometimes a bad adaptation could get more people to look at the original source, because like you know, with Goblin Slayer, you're like, oh, don't watch season 2, just go read the manga. You know,
exactly.
But the problem is that I've already read that part because I was looking for more when there was only just a season 1, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna go read it, right?
Yeah.
It's
so
the
they're
same
kind
with
of banking
Berserk.
on word of
I've
mouth
read
with people saying, people who have read it saying, oh, you should just read it, as opposed to people getting interested in it because of the show.
I absolutely love the Berserk manga, right? And it's only because we watched the 97 series that I was able to get into it and I actually picked it up. Everyone said it was amazing and things like that. But had I watched like the 2016 or any of that, I don't think I would have actually bothered.
No. I think Golden Age arc you would have liked, but not the 2016 version. No.
Probably.
No.
Anyway. Right.
All right.
Okay, cool.
So,
I think that does it for the topic. We want to move on to
let's move on to the supporter questions. Right, so Zrul asks, before we start the supporter questions, I just want to say we're not sponsored by any company, but we are sponsored by Patreon and you folks at home by liking and subscribing. If you'd like to become a patron and help support the channel, you can find a link in the description below. It's not one specifically for Kanpai Cast. It's either mine or Nasuth's.
Yeah.
But,
and to be fair, most of the Patreon stuff actually goes to Notice Me Senpai. I think all of it does.
Wrong. But if you sign up to Xeno's Patreon, you can sign up to a level to become part of the Notice Me Senpai members. And that will flesh out the cast, and you can be part of this fantastic silly improv thing we do.
Yesterday's was fun.
The more the better.
Yes, it was. The week before that was fun too with the villains. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Thaylien should have been in that one because he is a villain. He's Xeno's nemesis. Sorry, go ahead.
Zrul also asks, if you were a mad scientist, son of a bitch, what scientific experiment would you run if money and ethics weren't an issue? I would hook up a microwave to the Large Hadron Collider using an IBM, was it 5500?
I don't remember.
Make a time machine.
I would
say cat girls are also railguns.
I don't want to know.
Certain scientific railgun plus just cat girls.
I would figure out how to do genetic culling to get rid of anyone that would vote for somebody stupid like Donald Trump. There you go.
I mean, the Cheeto.
That's an anti-ethics thing, yeah.
Anyway.
The toilet brush that I've got in my work bathroom.
Nasuth Tai Chow asks, if you were an angry scientist, what would your Batman villain story origin be? Batman origin story be? Oh god, I'm saying it badly. It's the fact that all the kids keep littering.
Yep, I knew that was coming. Yeah,
it's destroying the world, and we've got no pride in our country, and
and you need a villainess to take care of it with minimum wage.
Yeah.
Mine would be that Catwoman is not an actual cat, and so I'm very angry with her, and so I'm setting out to create evil Catgirls now.
Okay.
I don't know what mine would be. Oh, too much corn syrup in the food. Gotta get rid of the corn syrup.
Fair. Fair. Thaylien spelled backwards asks, would you say the second season of Notice You Senpai was better than the first, or worse? I'd like to say it's better because of all the animation stuff we're doing now.
Yeah.
But wait for season 3.
But then again, I'm on it, so it's debatable.
All right. Thaylien spelled backwards also asks, would you say that Tactical Terror League was a good sequel to Faulty Frame Squad? I mean, technically it was a spin-off, but we won't go there. All right?
Will we not?
No. And then the Cooler Carbon Knight asks, do you prefer the dubbed or subbed version of Kanpai Cast? There's a subbed version?
Yes. And I put the weirdest things for you to say.
Okay, moving on. Right, so moving on to the comments from last week. So first of all, we've got the news. So as Rule says, TL is teens love. Thank you very much for informing us. It was in the article on screen, but I assume the intern assumed you didn't need to know that.
Silly intern.
I think I'll have to look into one or more of these manga releases. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Can we get an update on how many episodes from Old Crunchy Bumpkin to Master Swordsman is going to get? Now, I know there's been...
Why is it crunchy all of a sudden?
Old Crunchy Bumpkin.
Crunchy?
Old Crunchy.
From Old Crunchy Bumpkin, Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. Is that another thing now? Is that one of our things from Old Crunchy Bumpkin?
Yes, absolutely. Now whip out your prostate.
As far as I can tell, it's getting 12. Right?
Okay.
I know it's had a 9th, so that that wording was just bad. Anyway, cool stuff. Thank you for the news, guys. Storm Shell says, can I just say, I enjoy how Thaylien animates Soot sprites and his commitment to the bit.
Thank you.
Thaylien does need to be committed. It's true. Yes.
Don't praise him. Yes. Yeah. Thanks for newsing me up. Right, okay, now going on to the comments from the cast. Ricuse says, first, this is a comment to get engagement. Get it now. And never give it up. Don't let us down. The algorithm runs around and deserts you. I wonder if that was done within the first 10 minutes of the view, or whether or not he got to 10 minutes. I mean, who knows? Who knows, right? So, Strombus Shell says, pretty good discussion.
No, pretty good discussion.
I said with 3 O's. I demand a tier list for the next deep dive.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Or at least a rating so I know which ones to pick.
That's a good point, yes.
Yeah. Honorable mentions, Rage of Bahamut, yep. Blood Plus, nope. The Heroic Legend of Arslan, can't really
yes.
remember that one, so maybe Claymore.
But
Dorohedoro, yeah.
For sure.
Also, Dororo, which is actually
Wait.
more of
Dororo or Durara?
no, Dororo.
Okay.
Dororo.
It's a feudal Japan fantasy.
Right. Oh, that sounds like one I'd be interested in.
Yeah. Someone tell me if Roka Braves of the Six Flowers is good. It is.
I've heard it is.
Thanks.
I still haven't watched it.
It is. That is actually, oddly enough, one that I hope doesn't get a second season because I think they'd ruin it.
Okay.
And then, thanks for the entertainment. Zrugel says, Kanpai, I prefer fantasy over sci-fi or sci-fantasy.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it
Like
either,
Xeno,
but that's fair.
I learned something about trolleys during this. What did we talk about
But
trolleys?
they exist in London.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I'd like to see what you guys thought of Tsukubichi Moonlit Fantasy. I did watch all of season 1.
Yeah.
I didn't do season 2. Maybe I could give that a go at some point.
I really disliked season 1 because it devolved into a shop, and then the actual the author had to plot convenience him back into the plot to do something useful again. So.
Isn't a male seamstress called a seam master? Edit. I just looked it up. It's called a seamster. So I hereby claim seams master, a fantasy class / party role. Nobody steal that.
My OC character, do not steal.
Campaign.
Yep.
Definitely stealing it.
What is the game that shall not be named?
Well, we can't name it, but it apparently has some frames in it, and they're a war.
Had some great memes this week. Thanks for another great episode.
You're welcome.
And talking about memes,
very much welcome.
Time for the memes.
Here we go.
We've got, you know, hey, you want memes? We got memes. We got a whole stack of memes. We even take viewer memes, but we've only got 5 this week. Only 5 viewer memes. Very sad. Very sad. You know, you gotta come to the Kanpai Cast Discord and give us your viewer memes because we want more than 6 since we can only take 6. No, I'm kidding. We do only take 6 a week, so I think any extra ones roll over to the next week. Maybe I don't know how that works. Anyway,
no, because the channel gets cleaned.
Oh, that's true.
Yes,
it's true.
But they do get archived onto our website.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. So let's go ahead and get into the viewer memes. Me signing up for free trials using. See, I've seen this as the Goku one. I've never seen this as the Ash one.
What's the
What
Goku
happened
one?
at number 7?
So it's Goku, Ginyu Goku, Goku Black, and I can't remember the other one.
Right.
Wow, that 7th one is weird.
God, that 7th one here is really, really off.
Well, I assume that's Sun and Moon. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's a lot of reading.
So a queen is, of course, a girl, right? At least in ancient times. And pawns can turn into a queen. So all pawns must be girls too. And a pawn can turn into any piece except the king. That means all the pieces besides the king is the girl. So basically, chess is a harem war between two sides. And then you steal each harem member one by one, like NTR. This is why chess is hot.
Oh my god.
With
Not
the
lay
queen
a
there
finger on
saying,
him. Not while I'm here. Yeah.
oh yeah.
This isn't the first time I've heard this, but at the same time, that's why High School Double D is good.
Because Issei's secretly a girl?
No, he says the
No.
king.
No, Issei's all the pawns.
Oh.
Yes, which are all girls.
Yeah.
No. He's
Yeah.
the only pawn. All the
Fair
others. Yeah, anyway, moving on.
Anyway, moving on. Jesse and James.
Jesse, James.
Prepare for coming in trouble and make it bubble. That is a Thaylien level pun, and I love it.
It is.
Oh my god. I was like, wait, what are you... Oh, okay.
Ugh. I need a power nap. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
He goes Super Saiyan in his sleep. That's a power nap. Oh, I love that.
And the last viewer meme.
Perfect garden pot doesn't exist. It's a fan art creation.
That is cool, though.
Neotech. Oh.
Do you think that's actual stone, or do you think it's like
good.
Styrofoam or something?
No,
I think it's
no.
fiberglass or something.
No, it's probably gonna be like paper mache that they've.
Or a clay one. Yeah. A clay pot would be good.
Clay would work, yeah.
Anyway.
Cool. On to my memes.
That's what do you got?
I trust him, so I hired a detective. Huh?
Yeah.
That's not how trust works, dear.
Yeah.
Number 2. Have you heard about the public debate conference held in Massachusetts? It's the Mass Debate, because Massachusetts is mass, shortened to mass. Yes.
Dear.
Back in my day, subtitles used to be colorful. Sure, Grandma, let's get you to bed. I do kind of miss those days, although this color is not good for this scene.
No.
That's exactly why it was changed.
Yeah.
Also, that view I wanted.
Of course, yes. Beaver's eating wood.
Oh no!
If you know, you know.
I didn't go that far.
I can't even remember what anime that's from now.
Shimonetta.
Shimonetta, that's it. Yeah.
I love how we're instantly able to recognize it.
Yeah.
Just that well known.
Yeah, we know.
Yep. And my last 2 are video memes. And Final Destination situation.
What the hell?
Nice cropping.
There you go.
I expect this in Fable.
Yes. Oh god, that would be amazing. But he'd do it on purpose. Right, and my last one. List of equipment the Japan ground self-to-force.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, it's on repeat. Right, let's move on to Thaylien's memes.
No.
Oh my god.
Stay true to the original manga, improve the female cast. The Naruto live-action producers.
Oh,
that's a lot of reading.
Why are fantasy protagonists always such perverts? You want to know? H, ecchi, hentai, / perverted. Ero, erotic, sexual, provocative. H plus ero, hero.
Makes sense.
Oof.
Makes sense.
It's the manga versus anime comparison for the senior Goblin Slayer.
Yep.
Where are they?
Yep.
Wow, she is caked up in that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she is. Really is.
They should have made him. They should have made him caked up in the anime. Anyway.
Oh, absolutely, definitely should have. Not having balls sucks. Well, if you go at it with the one you hold love for, maybe they'll come back. Oh, as if that would work. Hey, Squidward, I didn't know the second season of Dandadan had already been released. SpongeBob Season 2 comes out next month.
What?
It's just Maple Star's tagline on that one. You just know.
Okay.
It's fine, Nasuth. You're better off not knowing.
WD-40.
Why?
Water Displacement 40, that's what it stands for.
Yeah.
Oh, and she's Aqua, right. Yes.
Yes. Oh, dear.
Is this going to get us copyright struck? Do I need to stop this?
You can stop that now.
Okay. On to Xeno's
I don't
memes.
get it.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
When I'm on my deathbed and they play a classic from my era, Unfortunately, it's also from Xeno's era, but he doesn't know it.
Anyway, how manga beat comics for the next generation? Less than me.
So true.
Slowly got dab.
Yeah. Follow traffic rules. Someone is waiting at home for you. Follow someone home.
Yes.
No.
That's a very bad sign.
Yeah. Order a cute, obedient cat girl today. She does laundry, baths, cooking, and other stuff by now. My faith in humanity is restored.
Why is it not real?
Video meme.
I am the master of the legendary beasts.
And I, the master of the legendary birds.
I'm the deity of time. And I hold space.
This is a Pokemon joke, so I don't get it.
These guys just have beef together, the land and the earth. That's it. They just have beef.
Yeah, like these two legendary beasts just have beef with each other and they're constantly fighting. Yeah. Next one. Tommy has seen your internet search history. He's judging you.
Oh, Tommy. I didn't do it.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Tommy.
And your last one is also
this
a video
next one's...
meme.
No, this is not safe for work. Heads up.
Okay.
Sorry, I have just remembered what this is. Heads up. This was not safe for work.
Right.
Sorry.
Yourself. Close your laptop. Here we go.
God, another perfectly good anime ruined by fan service. I hate it when writers with no talent decide they have to throw in a crutch, like showing a girl's boobs or butt.
It do be like that sometimes. It do
be like that.
Be like that sometimes.
There we go.
I'd be like that all the time.
Right, so that's it for this week's episode. You know, leave us a comment. Let us know what anime with season 2s you wish didn't have a season 2, or which anime you wish had a season 2, or which anime you worry that the season 2 will ruin the anime.
Or which anime you're happy had a season 2.
Yeah, which anime is made better with a season 2?
Talk about season 2 in the comment.
Yeah.
Just talk about season number 2. Number 2's in the comments.
Anyway, right, that's it for this week's episode. Thank you all for watching and or listening, and now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!
Kanpai!